Today, Israel's Security Cabinet meets to decide the next phase of the war against Hamas. At stake is the future of Gaza and the fate of hostages.
Well, meanwhile, a German newspaper is exposing how the international media is falling for Hamas propaganda. Chris Mitchell reports from Jerusalem.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is convening the Security Cabinet Thursday to strategize how to achieve the final goals of the war, the complete defeat of Hamas, and freeing the remaining hostages. The campaign may include 5 IDF divisions. It could last 5 months and involve a relocation of up to 1 million Gazans. Jonathan Conricus of the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies tells CBN News Israel stands at a crossroads.
I would say that it's money time. It's either do or die. It's either we bow to international pressure and lose the war, and the direct result of October 7 massacre will be that Hamas gets recognition for a Palestinian state, which will be a total catastrophe and failure, and I pray that that is not what will happen.
This morning, U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee announced the administration's plans to fund a dozen or more new aid distribution centers in Gaza. This, as the German publication Bild exposed that many photos of starving Gazans have been staged, a report cited by Israeli President Isaac Herzog.
We see a PR campaign like this one. This is from yesterday by German media. You see a photographer staging Gaza people to show that they are lacking food, whilst there's food there behind them. But this is a staging effort.
I saw the report by Bild, and I wasn't surprised. I've seen this for 15, 20 years of Gazan or otherwise Palestinian photographers, some of them working for reputable news agencies like Reuters, AFP, AP, and many others. They doctor images, they orchestrate them, and the term Gaza wood or Pallywood wasn't invented this war. It's something that has been going on for decades, if not more than a generation. The Palestinians are really masterful at not only fabricating visuals and imagery, but also knowing who to peddle it to and to find the useful and lazy idiots in international media to use it and then to shape hearts and minds and even get real-world results.
Gaza wood or Pallywood refers to how Hamas and others stage scenes to manipulate the media.
Sadly, Hamas is manipulating international media. Really, they have them around their little finger, feeding them, baked stories and cooked images.
Chris Mitchell is with us now from Jerusalem. Chris, welcome. What more can you tell us about the Israeli military plan and what it means for the hostages and future of Gaza?
Well, Andrew, it's a phased plan. It would include the evacuation of Gaza City, the central place there in northern Gaza. About half of the population of Gaza currently live there, about 900,000 to 1 million Gazans. That's why you see videos of cafes, markets that have been relatively untouched by the war. They're going to give them notice for them to leave. And then a few weeks before there'd be a military operation, what that does, Andrew, is give them time to prepare the infrastructure for those people in central Gaza. That would include setting up hospitals and camps, and then taking over Gaza City militarily. On the other hand, President Trump will be presumably making a speech accelerating aid to Gaza. That's in coordination with Israel. And then those, as we said, those aid centers would increase from 4 to 16, as Ambassador Huckabee announced, and then $1 billion in funding from U.S. and other countries. All this is an attempt to bypass the remaining areas controlled by Gaza so that every Gazan can receive aid that's not intercepted by Hamas. It really is a key turning point for Israel in its war against Hamas, Andrew. The support of the U.S. is vital. Israel's at a crossroads, so it's important to pray for Israel and the people of Gaza.
Chris, what about the aid situation in Gaza? Are the people there getting the help they need?
Well, in many ways, it's available to them if it could get through Hamas and the UN. Massive amounts of aid available, 30,000 tons Israeli President Isaac Herzog said just in the past 2 weeks, 30 tons by air. Herzog says the UN is failing to distribute over 800 trucks that are just waiting to go into Gaza. The UN is often refusing to cooperate with the IDF that wants to pour that aid into Gaza. And by the way, Andrew, only 27% of the aid comes from the UN. The rest comes from the NGOs and other countries. What does go in is often stolen by Hamas, and that's why the effort to quadruple the number of distribution sites by the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, why that's so important, that bypasses Hamas, gets directly to the people. They've provided more than 100 million meals in about 2 months, and yet the UN itself is also refusing to work with the GHF. And also, Andrew, just to mention, I visited Kfar Aza yesterday. It was the scene of one of the worst attacks of those kibbutzim on the Gaza border, and also the site of the Nova Music Festival. That's where more than 300 people were slaughtered in a massacre. Just a stark reminder of why Israel is fighting to eradicate the Hamas military so they can never again threaten Israel and provide a new life for the people of Gaza.
Chris, a lot of statements now saying mainstream media internationally has been duped. There's a Hamas propaganda campaign that has been going on for decades. Are they responding to these claims at all?
Well, we know that one publication is responding. It's Time magazine. On its front cover, it used a picture similar to the one cited in that German publication Bild. However, Time is defending in comments to another publication called The Wrap, and it says those images that they used, not coming out of Gaza, were not related to its cover story. They used a different photographer. But, Andrew, it's really important to realize that Hamas controls all the images coming out of the areas that it controls. Gaza Wood that Jonathan Conricus mentioned, those are staged images to manipulate the story. No one denies the distress and inside Gaza, but Israel's not deliberately trying to starve the people of Gaza. The people starving in Gaza are really Israeli hostages. And so what that Bild report does is pull back just a bit the curtain on the media manipulation by Hamas. These are staged scenes. We have seen those kind of scenes for years, back 25 years, specifically during the Second Intifada. Conricus, as the IDF spokesman for the IDF for many years, has seen those scenes as well. They manipulate the media. They manipulate the narrative of the story. And as Conricus says, sadly, many media pick up the images and the story, and sadly, it works many times before it can be exposed.
All right, Chris, thank you so much for joining us. Always appreciate your insight.